Hello, everyone. Hello, welcome to CBiz Media. This is Irene. You know us here as we talk about faith, love, and trends. And we're doing something different. We have a special guest coming up momentarily. And we're going to give you kind of a little bit of all of that right in a moment. All right, here's our guest, James Chandler. Hi, James. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for joining us. So, can you just tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, I was born in Detroit, Michigan. I'm a November baby, November 28th. I'm a paraprofessional at a STEM school, Pembroke Academy, which is a blue ribbon school known by the President of the United States. I'm an author of 4 books, um, and a singer. I have an album out titled "I Confess the Mixtape." I also ran as a write-in candidate for City Council District 1 in Detroit, Michigan, uh, previously. And I'm looking forward to this time and sharing my information with you uh, today. Thank you for having me.
Wow. Well, you have a lot of great things going on for you, a lot of different things under your belt. And I know that you really wanted to talk about a petition that you have out when it comes to the city of Detroit. And you wanted us to really well, first of all, if you kind of tell us a little bit about the petition and kind of what inspired you to put this out there and what we can do to kind of help you with that.
Okay. Well, the petition is actually called the Civil Rights and Constitutional Reform Act, which I list 51 points or laws that should be implemented into uh, into our legislative or our laws, which is already available to us through our Constitution. But I'm just trying to enforce that upon our leaders that we are supposed to be being more mindful of our human rights and different things. There's a broad list. Again, I'm actually fighting for reparations in this petition, fighting for to target price gouging in this petition, things that we haven't been talking about. Um, I go into a little bit about having common law courts to rule over these courts that's available to us today, which have been actually operating illegally. Is a lot of
Mm.
illegal things that's been going on that the Detroit Law Department knows about. And
Can you tell us a little bit about the common law courts? What is that about?
well, they're more constitutional, where there's no evidence of a crime. Again, uh, you are safe under the 14th Amendment. No seizing of your property, things like that. However, these courts today, they can just come and take your kid's CPS uh, just because of a minor issue, when in fact they need the benefit of proof on the record. And they seem to always, when it comes to suing the courts, they make it hard for you. They'll have their attorney general come after you, which usually and can only go in their favor and not your favor, even if you stand to defend yourself as a pro se individual. Like if you don't desire to have a lawyer and you want to be your own lawyer, you have a right to do that. But they give you some type of mercy. But again, they say they won't tell you that Scherer versus Board of Bar Examiners allows you to practice law and allows you to have that power and authority, whether they give you mercy or not. They still have to show you respect under our Constitution and law. So just putting that out there.
Well, I know something inspired you and had to spark you into really getting into this. So, is there some personal experiences or things that, maybe you've just seen in the community as someone that's in the city that was saying, like we really need to make a big change? Because I know you said you were an author and you have a music background, and I kind of know those things about you. But what really sparked you to get into, uh, should I say, government or
Uh-huh.
issues of that kind?
Okay. Well, being railroaded in a courthouse, first of all, over something minor as
Well,
a traffic ticket,
wow.
it kind of gets you to knowing how, especially when you come back against the court to sue them for an offense that they didn't put on the record, or they kept something off the record and committing perjury. Uh, you begin to want to learn a little bit of how they do things. Know a little bit about law so you can defend yourself another on a later time. So that's what increased my knowledge in the law game, um, to want to pursue. And then, of course, seeing a lot of things that does need to be changed. Like I was fighting because I don't like the whole idea of this real ID. I recently changed my ID. I had to put my address on there, my new address. And what was once a 4-year ID, because I didn't accept that real ID, is now a 1-year ID.
Hmm.
That's not fair. You know, I don't understand why they will need a real ID when we have passports. Of course, they said that the real ID is like a passport type thing, or however they want to dress it up. It's illegal, and we never consented to it. Uh,
So when did they start with the real ID as far as
uh,
changing up the time frame for the regular ID and all of that?
that actually was just recently. So I want to say like last year, like the middle of your last year sometime.
Yeah, there's just so much going on with immigration and all of these. I don't know if that's a direct effect to that ID situation, but
Mm,
everybody's kind of like on guard when it comes to ICE and all of that. Not that that's the topic, but that
mhm.
may have some sort of connection to the ID situation and supposedly having the real ID. And
I
I
mean,
do have the real ID. I had it before, and I think it just renews, like you said, every 4 years, and it costs a little bit more than just a regular ID. But yeah,
right.
they do have a lot
Add
of
add more pricing or add more money toward us.
right.
Yep.
So I appreciate that you're trying to level the playing field and just have more options for the people here in the city. And you also said that you were a write-in candidate for the city council. Like, how did that process go, and what was that experience like?
Wow. Well, going through that process, I also found out some illegal things they were doing, because now there's this topic and there's this, well, evidence of fraudulent elections and cheating in elections. You know, certain council members has been in their offices for 16 years or more. Janice Winfrey, the clerk, has been in there a long time. And when I was filing for my paperwork to run, they told me to, check off, I believe, general election and not the primary election. They was keeping us off the primary election so our name wouldn't be on the ballot. When people see
Hmm.
our name, they know that we're running and they know it's different people on there. How is it that James Tate and a couple of these council members ran unopposed when there's write-in candidates? And then when you go to the polls, they have their cards out there stating who to vote for, but nothing about any write-in candidate in that place where people can see. So this is the unfairness and it keeps these people in office, which they're not really doing much for the city. They do the same thing over and over again, and they run with it. And affordable housing is not affordable. We need to go back to an at-large voting um, transition where it won't be just district based, because you couldn't vote for me if you weren't in my district. And there's been many people in my churches, different churches, wanted to vote for me, but they couldn't, you know. And again, that's their game too, to have more control on who's elected in, um, to keep. And you wouldn't believe the amounts of money they're giving out to contractors when you go to these city council meetings, and it is going to different cities like Chicago. You know, they're taking our money from Detroiters and giving it to other contractors. When there's a lot of people that can do those same things here in Detroit, they're not giving them money to.
Wow.
And the law department knows about that. Detroit law department. They're there all the time.
So what can we do, just everyday people? I mean, that's kind of what you are, an everyday person. You decided to get involved when you had your interactions that you saw were not fair. Like, what advice would you give to us and how we can kind of combat some of these things?
Well, I would call into city council, begin to really be in their face, especially about my particular petition. It's called 2026-009, or you could say the James Chandler petition. Now, they had it on the agenda only for like a week or two. You know, they were fumbling about it and I have it on video, whether they wanted to approve it or put it under a certain category like neighborhoods or something, which it should be in the rules, under the rules department, or the, you know, because is changing the rules, or developing the rules, um, making things into law. So if we can change the laws, because we have let our leaders run with policy all this time, and policy is not above law. There's a difference between policy and law. And if it violates a lot of the Supreme Court rulings, if it violates the Constitution in any way, again, it is something wrong. It's time for us to learn our Constitution. It's time for us to learn the Bill of Rights, to know our rights, so that we know whether someone is playing a game with us, and we can call them out on it, take them to court on it. Because, you know, they're not telling us, but you'll learn that you can get some money out the courts. You can sue 250,000 or more, you know, for these violations. Of course, they will come at and make that hard for you, but still, the evidence is out there that yes, we are owed a lot of stuff, a lot of money, a lot of wealth, because of our lack of. Now, like the scriptures say, you know, we are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and that's exactly what it is, and what it's become. That's what it's always been.
I
And
like that. I think that you're right about us just being more informed
yes,
in what's going on in our world, and even with all the candidates. And it seems like whoever's just on TV the most wins or whatever, or whoever could promote themselves the most, or like you said, whoever's already been there, they just stay there.
they have the money. Yes,
Right. So we need to be informed, like, what are the agendas of these people, and who are they and what are they doing? So as far as getting informed, I think that's a really great advice, that we really need to do that. And as well as you said, contact the city council, which I will attempt to put that number up on the screen. As you guys watch, you'll see some information on that, as well as your information. James, can you tell us again, if they want to support the petition, because you said it was on there for a week? Is it going to continuously be on there, or that's why we need to contact city council to keep it on there and keep it
yes,
part of the conversation?
Yes, that's why we need to contact them. Um, Again, it was Agenda 2020.1, and then they moved it to Agenda 20.2. Petition 2026-009, the James Chandler petition, or uh, it's called Comprehensive the Civil Rights and Constitutional Reform Act. Again, has 51 reforms. I could send that to you by email as well, so you can have it. Um,
Okay. And maybe if they would like to email you and get that as well, or if they
sure.
would like to,
Yep. And
um, go ahead.
my email is chandlerj339@gmail.com. Yes.
And I think you would be a good person to go to just if they want to talk about, if that's okay with you, just anything in the city, the legal issues where they just feel like it's not fair. Not to say that you're an expert, but maybe you can have some type of advice for them or just be,
When I'm on a good path, the right path.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people don't know what to do, and it does seem like you're powerless. And I appreciate the steps that you took and that you're still taking. So, um, if you guys want to learn more about his initiative, please connect with him and let the city council know that you want this to stay on their agenda.
Yeah. And happy Black History Month, everybody.
Yes. Happy Black History Month. And you, as a man of color, I know that, us people of color generally, legal situations and all that stuff seem to be against us more than anyone else. So staying informed and speaking up and standing up like you're doing, I think that's a great thing that we can all follow, because I know other brothers of color, they've been through different things and some don't get through, some their life ends.
Yeah.
So if you are a blessed to get through, it's good to be an example and say, let's try to see how we can fix and mend these different issues in our community, things that aren't fair, things that we need to work on so we can improve. So thank you so much again, James, for joining us.
Definitely. Before you close out, though, I did want to hit on a little bit about the movie. It is out on Tubi. Um,
Okay.
yep, it
Okay,
is.
I did want to get into, before we close, I did want to get into your books and your music and the movie.
Oh,
So I know you, like you said, you're an author, singer, and now a filmmaker.
yeah.
And what inspired you to get started in that world of the arts?
Well, actually, I since a little child, playing with toys, I always made up my own narratives. And in high school, I had a chance to do my first little play there, and they had me in a newspaper. Um, I think the play was called "No Place Like Home," and I have the article still somewhere in my books. So I was writing plays and scripts and stuff. I mean, I'm not a professional at writing the format of plays and scripts, but I do know to put or draw people's attention. So it started when I was younger, and
Yeah, and then you took those talents and you wrote books,
yes,
you
yes.
made music, and like, what would you say is the foundation of your art? As far as it real life issues? Is it, you know, what is, like, you feel like is the focus when you present either your music or your books? Is it different things, diverse things, or is it kind of a
Hmm.
single focus?
I think it's a little bit of everything. Your environment. The people you're around, growing up with. You even dream some of this stuff, like my book of poems. I dreamed almost every entire poem, and it happened on like a day-to-day basis when that book was being born. I was dreaming these poems, and that's my book, Equality: The Purpose of the Revolution. It's a book of, I believe, 50 poems, and all came through dreams, and it's related to Black history, related to fighting for rights, equality, and that was my third book, I believe. That was my third book.
Wow. And I kind of see a theme with that and what you were talking about previously. And just having the courage to write one book, much less three books. So what's your team? Who's your team behind you? Who's pushing you and telling you, hey, you can write this book and another one and another one?
I would say just the Most High, because um, and my motive to um, change the narrative, I guess, and definitely the Most High though, and of course my family who love me, and different friends that support. So I am very appreciative for everybody.
So now when it comes to the film, I know that that's almost another world in itself. Of
Yep.
course, writing, it's a basis of that. So like when you got into the filmmaking situation, like what were some things in there that, maybe surprised you or challenged you once you were trying to bring your story to life on film?
Um, the whole idea of it, I mean, it's easier than plays because you have to remember your lines. When you're dealing with a movie, you can just edit stuff in and edit stuff out. However, I had to actually get into the film. I was actually in this one, uh, so I make an appearance in it. But I was the mic holder, and I'm telling you, holding that mic for like a couple of minutes, your arms will get a little jiggly and tired. Terrible feeling. And
I think that I think it might be called a grip, but I
oh,
think
okay,
the grip does more than one thing on the set. But yes, you basically held the mic for the talent like above them or around them.
yes, yep, uh-huh.
Yeah, seems easy enough, but not so easy, huh?
No, no, definitely need a team, need some support when it comes to film. Definitely.
So where your film's on Tubi, how can they check it out? What's the name of your film? And maybe just give us a little bit of the plot.
Okay. So the name of the movie is called Women Who Will, Women Who Won't. So I tell people this one particular is not a religious one, but the it's on Tubi. Now the synopsis on Tubi is kind of rushed in there, but basically the synopsis was some secrets bond you, others bury you. What begins as unbreakable friendship spirals into chaos when hidden shame and forbidden desires ignite betrayal and deadly jealousy, transforming loyalty into a ruthless war for blood. When the truth finally erupts, the line between victim and villain disappears, and friendship becomes a ruthless war where only one woman can survive. So, that's a better picture of what it was about. And of course, there's a twist at the end that really catches a lot of people's attention. Um, and just the whole experience of when we actually did the film, it didn't go as quite as I wanted it to because some of the cast members couldn't make certain days, and I had to switch some stuff up. So it's stuff like that that kind of messes with the move of the idea, but it still went well. In my case, I think all the actors and actresses did well, and I'm thankful for everybody that participated in this film. And I'm looking to do another one.
Well, that's wonderful. Guys, check him out on Tubi, Women Who Will, Women Who Won't. As far as your books and music, can they find that?
Well, the music is on iTunes. It's called I Confess the Mixtape. Jay Chandler is my stage name, Jay Chandler. I Confess the Mixtape. It's a CD of 8 songs. I have my books on Amazon.com. If you type up my name, James Chandler, you'll run into books like Equality, The Purpose of the Revolution. That's my book of poems. I have a book called It's a Wait to Wait. I think will make a great movie as well. It's a nonfiction, um, uh, a thriller maybe. Then there's my religious book called The Devil is a Lie. I am the apple of God's eye. And I have one more, which is more a business type book. And
You got so many books.
yeah. So
You
yeah,
can't keep
four
track of
books
all
now.
them books, huh?
Yeah.
I think you need to have like a workshop or a class or something to just share your experiences and becoming an author, and because I think a lot of people could benefit from that information, like how do you start and like what steps you take, or just learn from your experience
Yeah.
as well as the filmmaking as well. So we're looking forward to some possible workshops with you talking about this stuff,
Yeah, it's all in the works.
and even talking about the legal stuff as well. So that will be interesting. But
Definitely.
we're gonna be looking out to see what you have going on next, James. Again, any contact information you want to share as we close out?
Yeah, I can share my email again, chandlerj339@gmail.com. You can look for me on Facebook, James Chandler. Um, and my music on iTunes, Jay Chandler. I Confess the Mixtape. Books on Amazon. Just type in my name, and there you have it. Thank you again.
You heard it here. This is Irene, CBiz Media, Faith, Love, and Trends. Thank you to our special guest. We'll talk to you next time. All the best, and God bless. This is Irene.